and welcome to City Pulse, an advocacy program brought to you by Housing TV Africa in collaboration with the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, a distinguished urban planning association recognized in Nigeria and globally. I am Oberabi Omubo. When we think about regional development across Nigeria, we often focus on rural communities in different states. But what about the Federal Capital Territory? While urbanization is rapidly transforming Abuja's city center, many regional areas within the FCT still struggle with poor infrastructure, limited healthcare, and inadequate education. Recently, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu approved a 300 billion naira budget for regional development in the FCT. This raises several critical questions and leads us to the topic of today's episode: developing the regional areas of the FCT, challenges and prospects. To help us break this down, I am joined by two distinguished guests: Town Planner Morenike Babalola, FNITP, and Honorable Christopher Begha, a town planner and a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners. He's also a specialist in urban governance. Stay tuned.
Join us on a captivating experience through the dynamic world of town planning in Nigeria as we delve into the visionary projects and insights of top experts, witnessing the remarkable transformation of spaces into extraordinary communities. Immerse yourself in engaging discussions with leading town planning professionals as they address critical issues and offer innovative solutions to empower communities. Experience the pulse of the cities of tomorrow on City Pulse, a weekly television program presented by the National Institute of Town Planners. Gain exclusive behind-the-scenes looks and discover groundbreaking strategies shaping the urban landscape. Don't miss a beat. Showing weekly on Housing TV Africa. Star Times Channel 149.
Welcome back. You're still watching City Pulse on Housing TV Africa, and I have here with me Town Planner Morenike Babalola and Honorable Christopher Begha. Thank you so much for joining us, Mar.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you. So we want to get into this discussion of today, and I want to just start with Town Planner Morenike.
It's okay. Thank you.
So I want to ask, what does regional development mean within the context of the FCT?
The FCT is a region by definition because it's an administrative region, but we have some areas that are bought the FCT, which are the local governments. In Abuja, we have about 6 local governments. There is one of these local governments that is in the urban sector, which is the FCC. And from now, you find out that concentration of development is in that area. But the other areas which are regional, those are the areas that also have influence on Abuja, but which means the Abuja area, the FCT is, and as much as possible, is trying to ensure that development is spread, not only within the FCC, but down to the other local governments. We talk about Buhari, we talk about Gwagwalada, Kuje, and we have Kwali. Those are some of the local governments. And then we also have the concept of these satellite towns, which are also satellite towns that are within the region that need to be improved in order to enhance the livability of the Abuja city.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you for enlightening us. So, regional development in the context of the FCT is stretching just beyond the FCC, but to other regions in the FCT.
Yes.
That there's a balanced development going around the FCT. Thank you so much. So I want to move to Town Plan, Honorable Christopher, also a town planner as well.
Yes.
So I want to ask, what are the key challenges hindering regional development in the FCT today? Like she mentioned, some areas in the FCT, they are not getting development. So what is the key hindrance to this regional development in the FCT?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
When you talk about the region, you are looking at the geographical space. that has a very unique characteristics. And in this case, we have the federal capital city, like my colleague did mention. It is made up of area councils, which are meant to serve as the regional areas. These area councils, over time, have not been deliberately, or let me say, for paucity of funds or whatever, they've been neglected. And the focus has been on the federal capital city and at the detriment of the regions. So the FCC as it is was not meant to survive on its own. There was supposed to be this socio-economic interactions with the regions. The Abuja Master Plan was produced out of having considered the comparison needs of the city and the capability of the regions to support those needs. So there was supposed to be a kind of an interaction between the city and the regions. However, negligence or neglect, let me say neglect, over time has caused a lot of backwardness in the growth of the regions. The regions were supposed to be like growth poles that will support the city in the area of agriculture, in the area of building materials, forestry, regional recreation, and a lot of other, areas that they've been neglected. So there has been, you asked me about the challenges.
Yes.
There's been a lack of investment in those regions. So, and because of that, we're already having a toll. It's already taking a toll on the city. That's why you have a lot of people loitering around the city. They have no business being in the city. You see people living under the bridges. They go about in the night, vandalizing facilities within the city, stealing of manhole covers and all of that. It is a fallout of the several years of neglect of these regions. Because if you look at the way the regions are being planned, if you go to areas like Kuje and Kwali and Abaji, they have farmland layouts. There are farmland layouts which are meant for farms, agricultural activities that will boost food production and supply to the city. So, but there are no farms. And I'm afraid that some of these areas, if care is not taken, they will be taken over by land speculators who are out there to develop, for residential purposes. So it's the absence of this that has caused most of the problems we have today in the cities.
The key, negligence. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So, Town Planner Morenike, I want to ask, because he mentioned there's some sectors, he mentioned agriculture, which is food. So there are a lot of sectors that the FCT administration needs to focus on. But I want to ask, what are the critical sectors can the present FCT administration focus to accelerate regional development? Amongst the various sectors, what are the key and most pressing ones that the present administration can focus on?
For the regional areas to be easily accessible, to be easily developed, we need to focus on infrastructure. This infrastructure, we are not limiting it to road construction alone, but we are expanding it to supply of electricity, supply of water, because without water, the sanitation will not be there. And then the water will also help in irrigation when it comes to farming. Then we are looking at health facilities, which are important sector. If the people are not healthy, there is no way they can be productive. Then we are looking at the situation where you have the education. Education is an important factor that actually will lead people from backwardness to enlightenment. So these are the sectors that need to be improved. Also, we are also talking about the housing condition, the standard of living, the job opportunities of the people. If the people do not have good job opportunities, the tendency for them to migrate to the city center is there. So in other words, to be able to actually improve these regional areas, we need to provide the basic amenities in the rural areas. We are not looking at the basic amenities alone, the manpower to support them. And that comes where we need the capacity building of the people in the regions. And mind you, when we are talking about regions, and we are talking about regions of Abuja, we should not forget the abutting states like Kogi, like Kaduna, like Nasarawa, and also Niger. If you believe with me, we notice that people who live in Nasarawa, they work in Abuja, therefore putting pressure. But all these things, when we are coming to this development of regional areas, we need to actually locate intentionally and deliberately locate some of the job creating opportunities. Maybe we talk of industry, the only available industry that is very common in Abuja as FCT is this agro-allied. But how effective they are, how functional they are, is yet to be determined. So the government need to look at this. If, for instance, there is a growth pole in area like Kwali, you put on a deliberate government institution, you see that there will be migration to that area. So that one reduce pressure on the city center, because people will seek employment in that area. So we have so many projects, and we can talk about light industries that can be put there. We have education. Sometimes ago, I understand that we're going to be a university at Abaji local government area. That would have been a good growth pole that will attract people and enhance development in that area. Also, when we are talking about it, we are also going to look at the situation where we see that the area that is very important, which is security. People want to go to farm, the economic situation, they want to improve it, but the present economic situation is not giving them the opportunity. So you find that many of the farmers, they are abandoning their products due to probably kidnapping, due to harassment, and so on. Also, in some of the villages, especially the rainy season, the flooding area is also the flooding, which is a natural phenomenon, actually affect a lot of them. And we see some of their houses that are not, maybe they are demolished, they are destroyed by the storm and so on. Government need to come in to assist the people, providing good road, good linkages, enhancing that. Then when we are talking about the agriculture, they also look at a situation where agriculture itself is no more subsistence agriculture. You are looking at, in the modern economy, we need mechanized agriculture. The lands are there. If you look at the statistics of land available in FCT, it's about 735 square kilometers, and only about 715 is occupied by the city center. So what are we doing with the others? So we need to look at, I'm aware that in the master plan you have a lot of farmlands that are being but these farmlands are more or less dormant. No effective use, that are just there. Government can come in with this development plan, invest on mechanized farming, where we have products. Irrigation is also very important. Probably also establish agro-allied products. We have cashew being wasted on the farm, mangoes being wasted. These can be developed into industries. And then we have good economic system for those people. The local economic development of those areas depend on agriculture produce. And for us to enhance it, government need to invest in that area. Don't forget that healthcare also. because a healthy nation is a wealth nation.
Okay, thank you, Town Planner Morenike, for that elaborate answer. From telling us the very present sectors that we need to focus on, from electricity to healthcare to agriculture, all these sectors are very, very important. And one word we could say is basic amenities for these regional areas around the FCT. And we have to take a pause here. When we get back, we will continue this very important discussion. Stay with us.
Visit Housing TV Africa on YouTube and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to Housing TV Africa to stay updated on latest happenings in Nigeria's housing sector. Follow our social media pages, like and share our posts on Facebook, Housing TV Africa, on Twitter, Housing TV Africa, Instagram, Housing TV Africa. Join the conversation and keep up with latest housing updates.
Welcome back. You're still watching City Pulse on Housing TV Africa, and I have here with me Town Planner Morenike Babalola and Honorable Christopher Begha. We've discussed what regional development mean in the context of FCT, and also some challenges hindering regional development in the FCT. We also discussed some sectors that needs to be addressed by the FCT administration. Now we're going to move on to the topic of Honorable Christopher. We're going to move on to the topic of the budget. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu approved recently the 300 billion naira budget for regional development in the FCT. This is obviously a need that needs to be met. So we have questions. What does this funding mean for the future of these areas in the FCT, and how can it be effectively utilized?
Okay, thank you very much. We must commend the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for this great intervention. But I must say it's a drop in the ocean because of the several years of neglect. There is just very little that can do. I want to say that it's a step in the right direction, and it should be sustained. That will go a long way. And at this point, it is also good that we commend the Honorable Minister of the FCT, Morenike. In the last 2-3 weeks, he was busy about, commissioning rural roads. These are the regional roads. That is to say that he is giving it a thought on the development of the regions. Those roads is a big booster to the socio-economic activities in those areas. And like I said earlier, it is difficult for an investor to come in and begin to put monies in those places. For instance, you have a poultry farm, and at the end of your harvest, you want to bring the eggs to town to come and sell, and you discover that the bumpy roads, you record a lot of losses. But with these good roads today, with those regional roads, it will be seamless transition from the farm to the market. So I want to advise that the Honorable Minister should continue because we have not experienced that in a very long time. There is so much backlog to be covered. So the 300 billion should be channeled towards opening up more roads. And again, efforts should be made towards establishing regional markets. Yes, there are certain parts of these regions that have their own unique characteristics. For instance, you have arable farmlands in Kuje. They could be good for agriculture. You have poultry in Kuje. It could be good for meat and dairy products and all of that. And there are some places like Abaji where you have forestry, so we can tap from there. So what I'm trying to say is there is a lot to be done. 300 billion is a drop in the ocean, but it's commendable all the same, and it should be sustained. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Christopher. Thank you so much. We're coming to the end of the program already, and I want to ask Tampan and Morenike, do you have any closing thoughts on the discussion we've had so far? Also with the issue of the the budget, the 300 billion naira budget in the regional development sector that was approved by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Do you have any closing words? And how do you think what we should expect? Any closing words?
Yes. The Let me take it from the last question.
Okay.
We really, I think it's worth appreciating the president, because most of the lag in the development of the area, of the regional area, has been due to paucity of fund. So, and also not only the paucity of fund, we also have papers in now that the government can actually entrust the development of this region into his hands. And I think that goes to the minister of FCT. So on that note also, I want them to look, apart from thinking of the region area of the FCT, we also look at the abutting states, that is the boundary states, their impact on the FCT. Maybe there is a need to have maybe another regional level above the FCT regional level that will deal with the influx, because they are presently, we have 1 million people in the FCT. We find out that during the day you have 1 million, 2 million, but in the evening, who do you see? You can hardly get up to 500 people, because most of the people live outside the FCT. The communication, the journey distance is quite strenuous for the workers and for the people. So there is a need to see how this thing can be improved by having a collaborated programs. Also, I'm thinking of the need for mass transit. We know the railway is being flagged, but that may not serve immediate need of the people. The cost of transportation is very high. There was a time we had what we call L5 buses. I don't know what has come about it. If you look at if you go under transportation planning, you will find out that a bus that will carry 40 people, we need the space, we only need 2 spaces of a small car, but that 40 people may use 40 cars. So in so doing, we have this mass transport, we will reduce congestion, we will reduce carbon emission. You will also reduce a lot of health hazards in the city. So why we are looking at the railway on the long run, because I don't see how 300 billion can solve railway that will link Abaji, Kwali, Gwagwalada and so on. But if we have this mass transit on the ground, it will help the people and the movement of the goods better. So I want to say kudos to FCT minister, kudos to the federal government. I also want to remind them there is more to be done. FCT need to be a showcase, best practice in capitals among the cities of the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom Morenike. Mr. do you have any words to add?
Yes,
To the end?
I will want to state at this point that government cannot do it all, but government can do a lot with the establishment of these linkages. If government provides the infrastructure, I can assure you that investors will come in and activities will start booming in the regions, and that will also make life easier for the city. So if government is consistent in what it's doing, my colleague did mention the issue of railway. It is about time that we begin to link up the regions to the city through rail. You understand? Because it's not just about the transportation of people, but the transportation of goods and other things, So if these regions are opened up through the rails, it will go a long way. So government should do their bit by providing the infrastructure and leave the others to the private sector, collaborate with the private sector. And I also want to reiterate the point she did make. The regions, it's not just limited to the FCT. There are contiguous regions, like what is affecting the FCT is also affecting Kotonkarfe in Kogi State. What is affecting Nyanya is affecting Maraba in Nasarawa State. What is affecting Dede is affecting Suleja. These are all contiguous regions. So the development, like the issue of the rail, should extend even up to Suleja, up to Kefi, up to Abaje, Lokoja, all of these places. If we do that, I can assure you that the city will be self-sustaining, the regions will also be growth poles, and they'll be self-sustaining. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. This has really been an enlightening conversation. I want to thank Tampana Morenike and Honorable Christopher for this enlightening conversation. On this note, we've come to the end of this episode. But this discussion has opened our eyes to something. Regional development is very, very important, and there are several sectors that need to be addressed. And also, there's a good note, there's a silver lining, there's a light to this conversation. The federal government are finally turning their focus on this problem, and there's a step towards solution, even if it may be inefficient for the beginning, but we hope for better as we go on. Thank you so much. At this point, I want to say thank you once again to my esteemed guest, Town Planner Morenike Babalola and Honorable Christopher Begha. And my name is Omubo Obirabi. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms at Housing TV Africa and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more insightful discussions. I have to say bye for now.